Back now to CNN's apparent threat to expose the identity of the person who posted that now famous Trump body slamming video. According to Senator Ted Cruz, who's a constitutional lawyer, the cable news network may have committed a crime. The senator cited laws in both Georgia and New York, implying CNN could be in big trouble. So, KG, could CNN be in trouble here?
Well, this is just a legal smorgasbord, if I may say, because you've got possibilities here of Georgia, where they're headquartered, but they also have headquarters here in New York in terms of a big base, right over there by Time Warner Center. So you can say that perhaps they violated the laws of, extortion and blackmail by saying, if you don't do, then we're going to expose you, which would subject the person to personal liability, potentially physical harm for themselves and their family, which is very serious. So that's why they really drew the ire and wrath of the left and the right and everybody and people who champion free speech and the First Amendment, like Juan had pointed out. But there's also, in particular, something very interesting under federal law, 18 U.S.C. 241, and it's called conspiracy against rights. This statute makes it a crime for two or more persons to agree together to threaten or intimidate a person in their free exercise of their constitutional rights. And in this case, it would be the First Amendment. I think this one would be, more compelling. Now, do I think this is ultimately going to go to court or something like that, or someone's going to bring charges? Doubtful. There may be complaints filed, that type of thing. People are already trying to do that with the FCC as it relates to CNN for willfully proffering false information and stories that they knew to be false because of some of the tapes and the undercover reports. So there's a lot of things kind of in the mix. You have to separate what's, partisan and ideological and what is purely on a legal, legitimate, or constitutional basis. But this definitely is an open question. It's just a matter of how far people are willing to take it. And again, like I said, there's three options. You've got state law, New York, Georgia, or federal law. Right.
So if they do threaten to expose this guy's identity or his address, because that's going to come next, you'll have people descending on this guy's house and making phone calls and harassing him. That's dangerous.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The other danger that CNN should think about is that they're justifying the same actions against themselves. You can know, like the press has for the longest time been claiming an exemption. Like they're in a special class, like we do God's work here, and we cannot be threatened by the president, but we can threaten you, but you can't threaten us. Now all bets are off. Now when you do stuff like this, it's like, oh yeah, you do that to me, I'm gonna do that to you. And CNN has still not explained why they withheld information based on conditions about behavior. That's the problem here, I think.
Well, so Dana, they say in their statement, they were transparent about the guy, not, coming forward with his address or identity because they wanted to make sure that there was no deal. Does that even make sense to you?
No, I wish so much that I could go back in time and be in the room when they were crafting the statement and the press release and the PR department.
The
CNN PR department, honestly, let's say a prayer, they've had a really rough couple of weeks. And people who have been under the gun for a long time.
We've been through that.
Fox PR. If you're at a White House, anything, you just feel that constant pressure. Just stop hitting yourself. You're just making it worse.
That's true. Juan, could you imagine if CNN goes down for a fake video?
I don't think there's any way. I think Kimberly's right. It's not going to happen. But what's striking to me is when you see the politicians like Ted Cruz get involved, you know that the right is delighting in the grievance
Don't you think Ted's kind of joking?
Oh, I don't know if he's joking. I hope he's joking, but we're doing an additional segment on it. I just think the right is thrilled with this story. But let me just tell you.
If Juan doesn't like the story, that means it's good.
Right. It's the law of the universe.
What really alarms me is when you have this guy who says that he goes online, he participates. Greg, pay attention to me on this one.
I'm going to respond.
He participates, and he got a kick out of using the N-word and calling people nasty for being Jewish and all that. Because he just wanted to get a reaction from the other subs.
Right.
And so he was doing this, but he didn't really mean it. That's not who he is. He's really a nice person. He didn't mean to incite any violence against anyone. But this is bad behavior, and it goes on online all the time.
But Juan, it doesn't matter.
Are mad at CNN. Why aren't you mad and talking about this jerk?
Juan, it doesn't matter because the meme exists independently. Nobody owns that reputation because if Trump retweets that meme, he has no idea any about this stuff. And by the way, they might be wrong on who the person is, so the whole story falls apart. The fact is, and you say like Ted Cruz is going after delighting in CNN's problems.
No,
we've had that same problem. The left loves it when Fox News is in trouble.
Sure,
believe me.
but I'm just saying this is an eye for an eye. This is a fool's errand.
CNN every
because
Sunday
we
did
should
crap
defend-
on us.
We
We're
should
gonna be in
defend
trouble.
free speech.
An
but
eye
I
for
don't
an eye,
think we
Juan.
should-
Let's not talk violence, okay?